Mr. Ishan Singh from Synchronized Supply Chain. He will be speaking to us and sharing his perspective on a design framework for supply chain resilience. Mr. Ishan, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Bala. Good evening, everybody. So resilience is the ability to adapt when there is an unforeseen circumstance. How quickly, how well can we adapt to it is basically what resilience is. The ability to adapt increases with technology. When people are not available, we have to rely on processes, we have to rely on technology. And that's pretty much it. Companies have to change their entire working, where they are people dependent to where they are technology dependent. Now, pandemic comes along and everybody's at home. Who's going to do the work? So if you are a company that has technology in place, there is a lot of opportunity for you to be resilient, ensuring that your services don't stop, your warehouses don't stop, or they can operate with the minimum number of people that are available. This is pretty much what all the panelists have mentioned. Examples of this could be automation of warehouse, automation of order booking. In the case of trucking, it can be automation of driver payments, e-way bill integration with the government's websites. There's a lot of technology that can be adopted by every company. So it's pretty clear through the discussion that technology is the way forward. So of course, there is an ingredient in the adoption of technology, but there are two key aspects that I want to point out. The first aspect is this technology new? And the second aspect is it sufficient to adopt technology ourselves to make the entire supply chain resilient? So I'll begin with the first. Technology is not new. The technologies that we are talking about adopting and the technologies that we are speaking about, they are pretty much around for a long time. To give you a small example, video conferencing has been around for, I think, over 5 years, but it was never used. And the fact of the matter is that nobody ever trusted that a video conference meeting could be the same as a real meeting. There was this whole thing about human touch and aspects such as that. But now the pandemic has forced us to change our ways. We suddenly trust the technology a lot more than we did before the pandemic. The other aspect is when we are talking about a supply chain, and sometimes it's a global supply chain, is it enough for one company to be the best at technology, adopt everything that's possible? Will that result in a more resilient supply chain? I don't think that's the case. I think the supply chain in itself doesn't get more resilient. Supply chains get resilient when partners across the supply chain speak to each other through technology. And this is a key aspect. The first thing to do is to identify partners who have technology capabilities like yourselves. If you have gone ahead and built technology, then it is important to identify partners who have a similar mindset towards technology. And then the second thing to do is to link your technologies, because it's the seamless information flow that makes a supply chain more resilient. And this is a key aspect that I wanted to bring up. So, it was often cited that, e-commerce companies have done pretty well and they are resilient. And the key reason for that is that they are pretty much vertically integrated when it comes to technology. And even when they have suppliers, they try to integrate with them more. And traditional brick and mortar companies have not gone down this path as much. But we hope that there will be this mindset change. So what is lacking? What's lacking is, again, a very key aspect. It's the trust between these suppliers. It's the trust between these companies. Does a large manufacturer trust its service provider to handle non-proprietary data? And will it integrate through APIs? Technology which is already available. And the question is not always. There's a huge trust deficit when it comes to engaging in seamless technology integration. And that, I think, is again a mindset change that needs to be overcome. The perspective is that technology enablement and connectivity will become the norm. And that is what will really result in, resilient supply chains, in my opinion. To conclude, we need to have tech-focused suppliers. We need to have tech-focused companies along in our chain, and our partners should be tech-focused. That's the future. We need to be able to trust them with, non-proprietary data and ensure that there is seamless connectivity, technology for which already exists. And subsequently, we need to ensure that the operations, are seamless. Nobody can control a pandemic. A pandemic can come across. There can be, a volcano eruption. There could be a variety of things. But the fact that, we are seamlessly integrated is a key aspect that will help anybody bounce back quicker. And that's the key aspect, of resilience. So that's the point that I wanted to make. Thank you.